Hi, my name is Waverly, and I am taking a staycation in New York City with my dog Tati. My staycation will be 3 nights, and I will be staying in the Kimpton in Midtown, the Standard in the Meatpacking District, and then the W in Union Square. This was my first staycation in New York, and I'm really grateful for this experience because getting to see the world through Tati's eyes is just a wonderful experience. I live in Bushwick, Brooklyn, which is about half an hour outside of Manhattan, and it's a very artistic, up-and-coming neighborhood. I really enjoy living there because I live right by Maria Hernandez Park, which is kind of like the heartbeat of Bushwick, and so Tati loves living in this neighborhood because it's so dog-friendly. We walk her almost every day in the park, and we take her to the off-leash dog run, and there she meets a lot of old friends, a lot of new friends, and so she really enjoys her time there. There's not a lot of tourists, so it's a much more local vibe. So I'm really excited to explore new parks that Tati has never been to in Manhattan. And I'm also really excited to try a bunch of new dog-friendly restaurants because I think it's a really fun challenge to only eat at dog-friendly places. And that's of course what we're gonna do over the next 3 days because she'll be with me. And so I'm excited to try some new restaurants that I haven't been to. To get to the Kimpton, which is my first hotel, Tati and I will take the subway. And then from hotel to hotel, I'll probably end up taking a taxi or an Uber just to make things a little bit easier when I have my suitcase and my dog. Tati really enjoys the subway. She always gets a lot of smiles and friendly strangers wanting to pet her or just look at her, and it's always nice seeing strangers' faces light up when they see her because she's so cute. And normally on the subway, she's really well behaved. She normally will just sit by my feet or lay down on the bench next to me if it's not busy. It just was a train ride into Manhattan. And Tati is very excited to be here. She has stayed in a hotel before, but never a hotel this nice. And she doesn't really come to Manhattan too often. We pretty much stay in Brooklyn with her. So I think she is enjoying the little change of scenery and getting to smell all the new smells and see the new parts of the city. The Kimpton Hotel Aventi is pretty dog-friendly. The wonderful thing about this location is it's super close to Madison Square Park, where there's a dog run. There's a pet-friendly Shake Shack that's outside that you could even get a pup cup at. And there's a lot of outdoor dining in this area where you can just sit outside with your dog and have a cup of coffee. I think that made this area really accessible. The only thing though is that the hotel is not super dog accessible. The 3 restaurants at the hotel at first were not dog friendly. When I called the front desk to have dinner last night, they told us that none of the restaurants were dog friendly and we would have to leave the hotel and find a dog friendly restaurant in the area, and so that was a little bit disappointing. So after we found out that we couldn't eat at the hotel for dinner, we ended up going to a restaurant that was 2 blocks away called the Wilson, and that place was super dog friendly. In fact, they even have a dog menu, which Tati loved, obviously. It was a really great location, about a 5-minute walk away from here. Off of the dog menu, we ordered Tati a green apple and celery dog meal. And the human food was awesome as well. I got Brussels sprout tacos and mac and cheese. But when I went down to breakfast this morning at the Italian restaurant in the front, they actually did let me sit inside with Tati. And so it seems that there is a little bit of confusion around the dog-friendly policy and some of the restaurants, but other than that, the area was very dog-friendly and accessible. My stay at the Kimpton was lovely. I think that the highlight of my stay were the in-room dog amenities. They gave us a food bowl and a water bowl, which was really nice, and also a dog bed. And so it helped make Tati and I feel really welcome. Another highlight was when we signed the pet waiver as we were checking in for her to stay in the room with me. They even made it kind of cute where they made us sign on behalf of our pet. So it would be like, I, Tati, promise to behave with my owner, Waverly. So I think that was a really fun detail as well. My impression of my staycation has been great so far. It's an awesome way to explore my city and enjoy it in a new way without having to go back home, but also without breaking the bank because I don't really have to travel too far. After we're done with the Kimpton Hotel, we are going to the Standard High Line, which is in the Meatpacking District. If you're traveling within New York City, the yellow cabs are dog friendly, so all you need to do is hail one down and then pop in with your dog and go to your destination. We'll probably grab lunch and explore some dog-friendly attractions along the water in the Meatpacking and Chelsea area. The amazing thing about the Standard High Line's location is that I can see all these attractions from my hotel window. It's an incredible view. You get a beautiful view of the East River. You can see the dog park across the street. You can see Little Island. You can see the High Line. So this location is simply unbeatable. And I have to say, this hotel is so nice and very dog friendly. They welcomed us with a dog bed and a dog bowl, and also 2 out of the 3 restaurants are dog friendly, and so being able to eat right at the hotel was so convenient and lovely. The food scene in this neighborhood is incredible. This is a very expensive high-end neighborhood, so you're gonna get a lot of really nice fine dining, but the great thing is that there's a lot of outdoor seating, so there was a lot of options where I could take Tati and sit with her and enjoy a meal outdoors. There were 2 places on my trip though that I thought were dog friendly but ended up not being, which was really surprising. So the first was the High Line, which is this beautiful long park that you can walk across the west side of Manhattan, and I was really excited to walk along the park, check out the amazing views from there, but unfortunately there are no dogs allowed there. So we just got to the southern entrance of the High Line, and I'm a little disappointed because the sign says no dogs allowed on the High Line. And the same thing with the Little Island, which is located just 1 block from the hotel. And I was very excited to check it out because I've never been. But unfortunately, there was a no dogs allowed sign. And you would think that these parks would allow dogs because it's outside. So I was quite surprised to find no dogs allowed signs. So though Little Island is not dog friendly, luckily Pier 57 is right next door. There's a food hall and a rooftop garden. So we're gonna go check that place out instead. Pier 57 was spectacular. There's a ton of amazing food options. It's all dog friendly. I ended up getting these egg noodles with tofu from this Chinese restaurant. Those were delicious. And there's a rooftop park that Tati got to run around and play in the grass and check out the beautiful skyline. All right, Tati, that over there, that is called New Jersey. Can you say New Jersey? There's also a dog park not too far from the hotel, so she got to run and play off leash and see some other dogs and meet some other humans over there, so that was great. But the Meatpacking District of Manhattan, I would say, is a bit dog friendly, but there are a few places that are not dog friendly. Even though we weren't allowed to visit Little Island, we still had a wonderful day because Pier 57 over there has so many great restaurants. Even City Winery has a deal where if you bring your dog, you get half off a glass of wine. So super dog friendly. And of course, the rooftop park is beautiful. You get phenomenal views of the Statue of Liberty, of New Jersey, of the East River. And lastly, the W at Union Square. The great thing about Uber and Lyft is there is now a pet-friendly option. So if you just scroll down on the menu and find Uber Pet or Lyft Pet, you could call a car that you know for sure is pet-friendly. And lastly, I stayed at the W Hotel in Union Square, and let me tell you, it was phenomenal. The area where the hotel is located is super central in Manhattan. It's super convenient to get anywhere you need to go, and it is super dog friendly. The W Hotel is super pet friendly. The whole staff loves saying hi to Tati. They even gave us dog bowls and pee pads for the room. And it is right across the street from Union Square Park, which is a dog haven. There's dogs everywhere. We were lucky enough to walk around the farmer's market, and Tati met a lot of new friends there, and there's a dog park as well. So the great thing about this area is that you're not just limited to Union Square Park. Stuyvesant Square Park is a couple of blocks away, and I took Tati there for a walk, and it was really wonderful because we went there in the late afternoon, and so school had just got out, so the park was filled with kids. There was music playing, there's a beautiful fountain, and a bunch of just people from the neighborhood as well.
She kissed you!
And it's a lot quieter than Union Square Park, so if you're definitely looking for something more tranquil, that is the place to go. We're also not far from Madison Square Park, which is also another lovely option. The great thing about this hotel is it is right across the street from a giant Petco. It's a really nice pet store. There's a ton of food, treats, dog clothes, leashes, accessories. There's a grooming place in there. There's a vet in there. And the food scene in this area is phenomenal. There are a ton of dog-friendly restaurants. We dined outside at the Gray Dog, just about a 10-minute walk away from the hotel, and it was lovely. They even brought Tati a little water bowl, which of course we appreciated. The W at Union Square does not have a restaurant, so we weren't able just to stay in the hotel. They also don't have room service. The restaurant is under construction, so I think it'll open up at a later time, but as of our stay, there was no dining options at the hotel. All three hotels where I stayed at were wonderful, and all for different reasons. I think the Kimpton was very nice, and it was in a wonderful area, close to the park, close to a lot of outdoor dining and restaurants, but the hotel itself wasn't the most dog-friendly, even though they technically allowed dogs. And the Standard was very dog-friendly. They loved meeting Tati. They were very excited to see her and very excited that we were staying there, but the area itself is a little hit or miss. There's definitely dog-friendly places, and you can definitely find a lot of things to do in the meatpacking district, but do your research beforehand just to make sure. Even if you assume something's dog-friendly, it does not necessarily mean it is. In our case, that was the Little Island and the High Line. And I think lastly, the W at Union Square was extremely dog-friendly. The staff couldn't have been more welcoming and excited to meet Tati, and you just can't beat this location. It's right across the street from Union Square, where there are a ton of dogs and a dog park and a ton of dog-friendly restaurants. And so I think the W probably wins as the most dog-friendly because of the hotel and the surrounding area. But truly, if you're coming to New York, all three options are wonderful. This was my first staycation in New York, so having this staycation really made me prioritize what does Manhattan look like, and what does it feel like, and what does it sound like through a dog's eyes? How can I make this trip the best it can be for my dog? And that obviously looks really different than when I come to Manhattan for work or for an event or to see a friend. When you think about it, dogs' whole world is just what their human shows them. And so if you stay in the same neighborhood most of the time, that's how big they think the world is, right? But this is a really exploratory and fun experience, I think, for the both of us.